In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to create a WordPress website on SiteGround. In our experience, SiteGround hosting is far superior to some of the other solutions out there. They've got a few different options, but we are going to be specifically taking a look at their cloud hosting. The reason that we like their cloud hosting is because they use Google Cloud, and so you literally have the best hardware on the planet running your website. SiteGround is much better as far as uptime is concerned, and their plans are also very reasonably priced. The thing that we like the most about cloud hosting on SiteGround is how fast the websites are. We've run a lot of different tests on a lot of different hosting platforms, and SiteGround is by far the fastest, which is one of the biggest factors for search engine optimization. If you're running an e-commerce website, e-commerce conversion rates, and it's very easy to set up. Once you've created an account, to create your first WordPress website, you're going to click on the Websites tab. You're then going to click the Create Website button. Now we're going to start out with the temporary domain name. In another video, we'll show you how to change the domain name to one that you own. But for right now, we're just going to do temporary domain. This is going to be our temporary domain right here. We're going to click Continue. And in another video, we'll show you how to migrate a website. But for right now, we're just going to click Start a New Website. And we've got a couple of options here. We can just start a WordPress website. We can start a WordPress website with the plugin WooCommerce for e-commerce functionality already installed. And then this third option, Weebly Site Builder, that's a completely different platform. So we're just going to select a WordPress website, and your login information will be populated from your account, but you can also choose a different email address and password to actually log into the WordPress website. So we're going to click Continue. And this SG Site Scanner, we use a different plugin to scan for malware and different issues on the website. It's a free plugin, so we don't choose this SG Site Scanner because it does the same thing. So we're just going to click Finish. And now our WordPress website is being created. What is happening on the back end is that SiteGround is installing all the required files for your WordPress website. These files look like this. In later videos, we'll show you the plugins and the themes, but it's nothing more than files like files in a computer. Alright, WordPress has now been installed on our server. If we click on the website tab, you will see it come up in your website list. You can click on this arrow right here to go out to the front end. It's just a bare bones WordPress website. And then if you type in at the end of the URL /wp-admin, you will get to the login screen, and you can log into your site with the credentials that were set up during the install. Now let's take a look at some of the features that come with SiteGround and your WordPress installation. You can do that by clicking on Site Tools. You'll see a sidebar right here, and you can expand these different options. The file manager, that's generally for more advanced users if you're editing files on the server within WordPress. The FTP accounts, that is to create an FTP account so that if you were using a code editor like Atom, you could get to the files on the server. MySQL is going to be the MySQL database that powers the WordPress website. PostgreSQL, again, that's more for advanced users. Backups. On a daily basis, SiteGround will back up your website. And so if anything happens, you can roll the website back a day, 2 days, 5 days. You can also create your own backups if you're making some major changes to the website and you want to back up all the files in the database so that if something goes wrong, you can revert it back before you start making those edits, this will be available. SSL Manager, that is for the SSL certificate. Since we currently have a temporary domain name, where we don't need an SSL certificate, but in a later video when we show you how to change the domain name, you will want an SSL certificate, which is free, and it is what gives websites the HTTPS instead of the HTTP, which is critical for things like search engine optimization and security. These other options right here are not too important. Blocked IPs, if you wanted to block a specific IP address from hitting the server, you can do it right there. This SG site scanner, this is the feature that we did not enable on this website, so we're not going to take a look at that. Next, we'll take a look at some of the speed features of SiteGround. Underneath the speed tab, you have caching. What caching allows web browsers to do is essentially make copies of your individual pages on your website. That way, if a user or multiple users are accessing the same page on your website, it doesn't have to hit the server every single time. It's going to dramatically improve the speed of your website. Dynamic caching, same idea. And then meme caching, we're not going to turn this on yet, but when you go live with your website, you're definitely going to want to. Now, Cloudflare is what's called a CDN. And what Cloudflare allows for is to make multiple different copies of your website at Cloudflare's different servers, so that if someone is accessing your website from Maine and there's a Cloudflare server in Indiana, it's going to be much faster than if you are in California and trying to access the website from Indiana. So it basically distributes your website throughout Cloudflare. This is more of an advanced topic. We'll do another video on Cloudflare's CDN and when and why you would want to use it, but it's not necessary for right now. Underneath the WordPress tab, we've got a couple of different options here. The first one that I want to take a look at is the staging. You can create a staging website so that you have your live website and then you have the staging website that you can work on and make all kinds of changes to. You can then push all the changes from the staging website to the live website. It's not absolutely necessary, but it is a really nice feature. The migrator plugin, we're going to do a separate video on this. This is to migrate a website from another hosting environment to your SiteGround hosting environment. Under the domain tab, this is where you're going to change the domain name from the temporary domain to whatever domain that you own. Again, we'll do a separate video on that. Email accounts, you can create email accounts within the SiteGround server. And then statistics will give you some statistics on traffic, if there's any errors, anything like that. And then underneath the dev tab, this again is for more advanced users. You can create cron jobs, you can manage the PHP settings, SSH keys, but again, this is all for more advanced users. So that's a basic overview of how to create a WordPress website on SiteGround. In the next videos, we're going to start installing plugins, themes, and really making our website look like ours.